Today we're looking at custom Magic the Gathering cards on Reddit. We're going to start with Catnip, the Wandering Merchant. Oh my god, this is so cute. This is adorable. Picture is 10 out of 10. Alright, we got for white, red, and one generic. A 0/4 legendary cat. Catnip, Wandering Merchant, can't be sacrificed. Alright, that's one cat we can't sack. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player gains control of Catnip. Okay, so you get Catnip, then somebody else gets the Catnip, and then the next person gets the Catnip. Buy wares. One generic, draw a card. If you don't own Catnip, its owner creates a tapped treasure token. Activate only once on your turn if you don't own Catnip. But why would you not own it? You have to own it in order to activate this. If you sorry, no, you can control it, but you don't have to own it. Gotcha. So people can draw the cards, but then you're gonna get treasure tokens because you're the owner of the Catnip. And then sell wares. Sack an artifact, create X tapped treasure tokens, where X is the sacrificed artifact's mana value. If you don't own Catnip, its owner draws a card. Ah, very creative. Very, 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 very creative. I like it. I like it a lot. A little big for a cat, but I guess the 0, you know, the 4 toughness comes from this thing. And I don't know a single cat, unless it's been declawed, that is going to be 0 power. So maybe that's a little bit of a fail, but outside of that, I think that's a really cool card. Catacomb Walls, black 1 generic, 0/4 flash defender. It's a wall. If a spell or ability an opponent controls would exile a card from your graveyard, your opponent discards a card instead. Well, that sucks. So you're trying to protect your graveyard here. Oh my god, this is going to be for the graveyard decks. If a spell or ability an opponent controls would exile your graveyard, your opponent discards their hand instead. So what, like, I don't know, the Grizzlebrand decks are now going to put out these 0/4 walls? Oh man, this is unbelievable. Well, anyway, I think it's a little unbelievable. Moving on. Petra and Percy, Fencing Masters. I'm sure actually a lot of people want this card. This is basically the graveyard deck archetype people. They're like, people, they keep touching my graveyard. Stay away from my graveyard. No relics, no nothing. Don't touch my Rest in Peace, for example. Although it doesn't do anything about Grafdigger's Cage, because the Grafdigger's Cage isn't going to actually target anything in the graveyard. Oh yeah, we gotta decide we're gonna print or shred this thing. Gotta go back. Let's go back to the cat. I've decided we're gonna print it. I like the cat. This card, it is not ridiculous, so we can print it as well. Why not? Okay, Petra and Percy, Fencing Masters. A white 3 generic for a 2/4 double striker. It's an elf soldier. When Petra and Percy or another creature you control deals combat damage, you may untap it and remove it from combat. When Petra or Percy or another creature you control deals combat damage, you may untap it and remove it from combat. Why? What is the point to this? I don't get it. Whenever Petra and Percy or another creature you control deals combat damage, you may untap and remove. Oh, so if there's like unfavorable blocks, you can just be like, okay, take it back. I take it back. I don't want to do it, because it's any combat damage. So you send in the team. It's like pseudo vigilance. Well, not really, because you won't deal. If you remove something from combat, you don't deal damage. So if it would deal damage, or another deals combat damage, you may untap and remove it from combat. So how does that work? If it already dealt damage, is it already over? But it also got dealt damage, but you're removing it from combat. So you have to deal the damage. If you go wide, it's great. I actually have no idea how this card works, or if it's even... Like, let's say it dies in combat. Let's say I block it with a 5/5. Can I remove it from combat after that? Whereas I can just untap it. I think this is basically just damage on the stack is allowed. I don't think it's creating damage on the stack though. I don't think it's making even a pseudo damage on the stack. Would it only deal first strike damage? Oh, maybe that's correct. Okay. Yeah. So I didn't think about that, and this guy is double strike. So basically, all the first strikers have the option to remove themselves from combat before the regular strike. Oh, that's true. That's true. Neat. Very, very unusual card. I'm surprised actually Wizards has not taken advantage of something like this, or maybe it's just too confusing. Like I strategically couldn't find the purpose to this, but you know what? Can't hurt anyone. Removing cards from combat after the first strike. So we're gonna keep this one. We can print that one. We're R&D today. We're gonna decide if. Oh, and by the way, also let me know for the people on the replay. Do you like seeing the chat on screen? Some people are like, "Hey, you lost the chat on screen. Where's the chat?" And well, because you can just add it yourself by activating live chat on YouTube. So if you like seeing the live chat on screen, you let me know. Maybe we'll bring it back. Okay, so Reflective Blast, white, 3 generic, instant. If the total power of attacking creatures is 15 or higher, you may cast the spell without paying its mana cost. Destroy all attacking creatures. Oh, and it's instant speed. Oh God. God, I don't like that. But at the same time, there's a lot of buff creatures. Look at the picture. Is this really 15 power worth of creatures? Looks like 3 power worth of creatures. Look like nothing. Well, Reflective Blast looks interesting. Well, it's a sweeper if your opponents are playing with really big chunky stuff. It reminds me of that card where if you're attacking, you play this sweeper and exile each attacking creature and they get a land. This card is good even at full price. It is technically just a sweeper. Like, there's no condition whatsoever except there needs to be enough power on the battlefield, which I think for Commander probably would not even be that very difficult. Stompy hates ship it. And Stompy is like the fairest archetype of them all. Somebody hates elves. Oh yeah, once they bring out the Elvish Champion, then they'll bring out the Reflective Blast. Yeah, I was thinking of Settle the Wreckage. This is the closest I could think of that you could play at instant speed. Well, at least they made it a mythic rare. I don't think it's broken though, so I think we can ship this thing. And by the way, to everybody who always wanted to know how do I review your cards on stream, if you post them in our custom magic, I do have a link in the description, you super chat $5 or more, and you give me the title. You have to give me the title of your post, and in this case it would be called Reflective Blast, and the last one would be called A Nice Option for First Double Strikes Tribals. I will look it up, and then I will post I'll show your card. It's a looking up thing. Oops, where am I? What am I doing? I'm lost. Oh, this is what I want. Brian F with the super chat, thanks so much. Because I love broken cards, I sorely want to see a Power 9 reprinted, but each with a 1 life ETB casting penalty to make them not actual reprints. Each with a 1 life. Oh, you have to pay a life penalty? So pay a life. I mean, that technically is true. I mean, yeah, that would not break the reserve list rules. But I don't think they're going to do it anyway. Honestly, I don't think they're going to do it anyway. No penalty. No penalty is too strong for them to reprint the reserve list cards. Tibalt Thought Sealer. Black, red, 2 generic. Legendary Planeswalker Tibalt. If you would discard an online card without madness, you may exile it. If you do, you may cast that card. Cards cast this way cost 1 more to cast. And you can go -2 on this thing, discard a card. Some weird madness Planeswalker with 3 loyalty. I don't even... If you would discard a non-land card without madness, you can exile it instead. If you do... Okay, so I guess it's a... So I think this card is to help madness players whenever they have to discard a card and it's not a madness card, which means they don't get value, at least they exile it and they get to cast that card. Cards cast this way cost 1 more. Punished! Punishment. I would reduce the mana cost of the Planeswalker by 1. I most definitely would as well. This is actually a little too fair. In my opinion, if you're, let's say you're Madness deck, you don't want to spend a whole lot of mana on your cards, especially your Planeswalker, to just get -2. I mean, by this point in the game, you've probably emptied your hand. Your full board is on the battlefield, or in the graveyard for that matter. This is a very expensive enabler, so it's totally fair. It's gonna go. R.I.P. Rip it. Tibalt doesn't need 2 awful versions of itself. Actually, we could even make him cost 2. It probably wouldn't be broken, to be honest, if we made it cost 2. Okay, we have Atheros Toll. Orzhov, hybrid mana cost, instant. Exile a creature card from your graveyard, then create 2 treasure tokens. Oh! Oh, that is interesting. This is some very funky ramp. It's got to be a creature card from your graveyard. Why haven't they made something like this before? You know what they do? They've got a lot of They've got a lot of cards where you just sack a creature in play, and you get some treasure tokens, and you like draw some cards out of it as well. Keenan likes this one. We're gonna ship it. This also oh, this is also kind of Metamorphose for Orzhov. That's true. Although you can't, it's hard to chain them together because you do need to enable it with a creature in your graveyard. If there's no creature in your graveyard, you ain't get no mana. Metamorphose, it don't care if you got creature in your graveyard or not. It doesn't care if there's creatures in play. It doesn't care if you have creatures in your deck. But Atheros most definitely cares that you have creatures in your deck and that they died. General Ketzer, welcome. Good morning. We're gonna ship this one? I agree. We can ship this one. Yeah, this doesn't even draw a card. Doesn't even draw a card! Pathetic. They should have added draw a card on top of this thing. Okay, the big blue sorcery. Blue, 1 generic with a 3-year-old's depiction of a cryptic command. Sorcery. Each player draws 7 cards, then each player discards a card until they have 7 cards in hand. Oh, okay, that's interesting. So everyone's gonna end up with 7 cards. So they reprinted Wheel of Fortune effectively, but better or worse, depending, what your colors are. It's a whole lot harder to cast this card. It is the big blue sorcery after all. That's a very talented 3-year-old. I agree. Very talented. They drew 5 fingers and everything. They even had a little bit of a... They've got the palm lines too. I see big things for the future of that 3-year-old. Combos with it's combos with the Tibalt. I love how you guys try to find the synergy with the other cards. Yeah, the big blue sorcery plus the Tibalt, it gonna danger. It danger. Looks like a bad windfall. Technically it's a better card because you get to draw. You don't discard first. You're gonna draw first, then you discard down. So whatever good cards are already in your hand, you get to keep them. On the other hand, it's just harder to cast, that's all. It's just way harder to cast. Infinity likes this. I can't tell if this is broken or not, though, to be honest. I can't tell if it's broken. Yeah, you get to choose. So this is way... I think it's way stronger. But on the other hand, you give it to your opponent as well. So, I mean, it works both ways. You know how many times a Charbelcher deck gave me 7 cards, and I beat them with it anyway? Maybe they've chose the wrong 7 cards for themselves when they stack their deck, but I've done it. I just had enough force negation to not care about... Yeah, because they have to keep a bunch of rituals in their hand. So they, like, drew me into a bunch of counter spells, and then they died. So, I think it's probably fair. Probably. Maybe. Probably. It's symmetrical, so they aren't keeping bad cards. What's going on here? Oh. It's supposed to be the sponsor music. Today's sponsor, but we're going to look at a lot more custom Magic cards today. But today's sponsor, of course, every single week, is FusionGamingOnline.com. It's where I buy all my paper Magic cards. I get my singles. Deal of the week, save 15% off all Ice Age and Alliance singles. So you can get, what's it called? What is that land that gets your lands out of your deck? Thawing Glaciers. That came from Alliance. So if there's any cool old... Oh, Thought Lash. Thought Lash is a great combo with Thassa's Oracle. Upside, and also protects you very well. Thought Lash. That came from Alliances as well. Save 15% off when you're shopping at FusionGamingOnline.com. Don't forget to use coupon code Nikachu, though. Gets you an additional 5% off all your purchases, and it supports the channel. Bro's gonna thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. To play any deck, any format, anytime you want. Magic 30 is coming up, and so if you're... Oh, and also there's that Salt Lake City event that's coming up. What else? There's a bunch of modern events coming up, and if you need to prep for the modern metagame, you better believe that they're all doing on Magic the Gathering Online, and you can playtest the best deck versus that metagame when you're renting with Mana Traders. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_G8M. Booyah. Alright, now back to the beautiful custom stuff. Hey, so what are we doing with Big Blue Sorcerer? I guess we're gonna ship this thing. I cannot see any problems with this. We don't talk about Hull Breacher. No. We don't talk about... No, Hull Breacher is banned. We don't care. Thoughts on Yorion ban? It does nothing. Absolutely nothing. There's my long story short. Sneaky Thief. Blue. Human Rogue. It's a 1/1. Tap, draw a card. If an opponent controls a creature, discard a card. So what, if they didn't control a creature, you just draw a card. It's just blue, draw a card. It's just a strictly better merfolk looting. I think this is almost broken. I don't know if it's broken. I mean, to be honest, these days it's so hard to protect your creature, but like Merfolk Looter is pretty strong, except for the fact that you have to discard the card, but in this case you just get to keep the card. Like I think in a one-on-one game it's not going to be, if an opponent controls a creature, discard a card. I don't think it's too hard to keep the board clear. Witherfang thinks this is fair, just drawing a card for nothing, no problem. Kinda broke, but also kinda boring. It's definitely pretty boring. I think this card is pretty ridiculous. I also think this card is ridiculous. It's very subtle. It's very subtle, but very broken. Oops, someone is watching. That is actually pretty good flavor. I like that. So if someone's watching, you have to discard the card. I didn't really take anything. I didn't do it. I was just looking. How can I decide on my purchasing something if I can't look at it? Spartan thinks it's fair. Okay, what do you got? What do you say, Rearranged? Anything Is It or Azorius flavored will have a very easy time of making this a true draw. Absolutely. And they'll just draw every single turn. Space, the way I'm looking at it is like Jace the Mind Sculptor for 2 mana. Twisted Mind Studios. It's also easy to kill with a Fury or any red burn spell. You may not get that burn spell through if a control player is on guard. Good against control decks. Yes, it will... You know, it's hard to tell, because their card advantage, I think, dwarfs everybody else's, and they'll do a good... Like, they'll just play Teferi turn 3 and just bounce the damn thing. And then you'll have a hard time getting this in play and then getting it to stick. And because you're not pressuring... If you're playing this against a control deck, you're not pressuring your opponent. Unless you are the control deck playing the Sneaky Thief. It isn't broken because it's blue. I actually think it is broken because it's blue. Change one of the pips to green, and Wizards of the Coast would print this. I guess so. Dies to everything. I guess you guys think this is a pass. I think this is just easy. I think this is just, whoops. Okay, I think it's tougher. I think it's a tougher decision than a pass. This is not so easy. So you're saying you're gonna have a bad time? Absolutely. All the draw helps you find all the draw helps you find answers to anything that would answer the Sneaky Thief. They don't have to play it immediately, by the way. They could just wait till turn 4, play Sneaky Thief, hold up Counterspell, or wait till turn 5. I don't know, maybe I'm being crazy, because by the time you hit turn 5, you could play Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, and already also have a lot of mana, and it's a lot harder to kill the Teferi. Forced Ejection. We have a Phyrexian mana artifact. That is ridiculous. Target artifact loses the creature type and cannot become a creature until end of turn. Draw a card. This is a very weird card. What is this for? I don't know. I have no idea what this is for. Obviously, people who make these custom Magic cards, they're doing it because they got some idea, or there's some card that they have a problem against, or they have got some deck they have a problem against. I have no idea what this would be used for. Vehicles? Oh, this is anti-vehicle tech? Target artifact loses the creature type and cannot become a creature until end of turn. Draw a card. That is really weird. What vehicle do you have to hate on? Is any vehicle a problem? You got ejected. Get out of here. It stops an attacker. It stops the vehicle. Target artifact loses the creature type. Hold on. Oh, so is it like just an answer to artifact creatures? Like, hey, I point this to an artifact creature. You're not a creature anymore. Now you're just a nothing. You're just a stone nothing. Mishra's Factory. Artifact creatures lose creatures, so they're just like an artifact with power and toughness. I have no idea how they reanimate. Oh no, but it's only until end of turn, then it become a creature again. Okay, so you can target artifact creatures. That's something you can do. You can hit the artifact creatures. What else? I guess you can hit the vehicles. All right, it has some really weird. I don't even know why this needs to be Phyrexian mana. That's a bit weird, in my opinion. But I guess we can ship it. All right, David Willard with the super chat. Lands Abound version 2. How do I duplicate this tab? All right, so I will look up. I'm assuming this is your card. I don't want to create anything. I want to look. Lands Abound version 2. That's how the super chat. Here we go. All right, David, let's see what you cooked up today. Why is this so big? Lands Abound. Oh god. Okay, so it's a 5 mana legendary sorcery. Reroll 1d20. Between 1 and 10, all opponents search their deck for a land and puts it into play. Okay. That's good. 11 and 19, search your deck for a land and put it into play. So only you get to do it. You hit 20, search your deck for all the remaining lands and put them into play tapped. Whoa! After each action, the player or players shuffle their decks. That's crazy. Oh, this is a sorcery. That is a very weird card. This is from Ixalan. No, this did not exist in Ixalan. They just used the logo. It gets around spells that say it non-creature, I suppose. Oh, the chat's a bit lagged. 20 is way too... But you have to roll a 20, so there's like a 5% chance that's even going to happen. This is broken. 5 mana to probably give your opponent's land is no bueno. Maybe it should give you 3 lands for 11 to 19. Well, 3 actually sounds a bit broken. That's like... There's like a... basically 50% chance that you're only going to get the land. So 3 lands seems like a lot. But at the same time, you already have 5 mana, so who cares? Sounds fun? Well, anyway. It's a donated card, so it's going to pass. It's going to pass in my opinion. All right. Moving on. Oh, and thank you very much, Balder, for the super chat. Stops hammer time? I don't think it does. I mean, it hits some of the creatures. Just some of the creatures, like, what's it called? The 1/1 Rhystic Study creature, because it's an artifact. Because not all the creatures... Oh, no, actually, there's a lot of creatures. No, I take it back. Memnite, Ornithopter. Yeah, there's a lot of creatures that are artifacts in that deck. True story. Okay, what do we got here? We got the Total War. Any combat damage to a players by creatures counts as combat damage. Grammar be bad. Any damage dealt to a players by creatures counts as combat damage. That is very weird. And to be honest, it all is oh, any damage. Okay, I get it. So I have no idea what this is enabling. But if you just tap a creature, if a creature has an activated ability of just tap and deal, like, ping something, it would also be considered combat damage. Somebody plays Fog. Commander damage. Oh, I see. So, well, hold on. So pingers don't work with Commander? Pingers are now broken. A lot of equipment come online. Aha. Someone was thinking. Perforos now does Commander damage. This is crazy in Commander. Any ability damage now deals Commander damage. Commander burn. Bolt isn't a creature. Oh, that's true. Okay, so any damage... No, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I mean, unless the commander deals bolt stuff. Curious Obsession go burr. How can this be broken? Is this really broken? Is there a commander that, like, tap deals, like, 10 damage to people? Or 20 damage? I don't think it's that broken, to be honest. We got a super chat here. Force Rejection is broken as a free protection spell. You just target your own creature and protect from the the creature from removal. That's actually pretty cool. I didn't think of that line. That is really creative. That's really thinking outside the box. So with Forced Ejection, so you could attack with your own artifact creature, and then if they try to destroy it, no, not a creature anymore. Unless it said destroy target artifact, then that's a problem. But if it's destroy target creature, you get to protect it. I think, okay, are we shipping or shredding this one? This seems to be, like, borderline here. There is that tap 20 damage Heartless Hidetsugu. Oh, God. This is truly broken. Even I, that doesn't play Commander, see the ways that it can be abused. But you'd have to work for it. I think you have to work for it. Does Total War enable Infect Pingers? I guess. I would think that it was already enabling those pingers. I mean, I don't know if it needs to enable those. Okay, we got a ship. We got a shred. We got a ship. Makes Commander more interesting. Ship. The people like it. All right. I like it. Ship it, or shop it. Coming to a Commander game near you. Spitting Teeth. That is disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting. This is the most disgusting name and art for a magic card I've ever seen on this show. Okay, red, black, 3 generic sorcery. Exile target player's hand. They may play those cards until end of turn. What? So basically you're forcing your opponent to play their spells. Is effectively what this is. There's a card called Total War in Ice Age. Oh, well, then disqualified. Thank you very much for the super chat, though, Brian. That art is cool as F. What's the flavor for this? You're gonna feel the flavor is you're gonna feel like spitting out your teeth after your opponent forces you to cast your cards. So I guess this is sort of good, maybe good versus combo decks. You, like, exile their hand and then force them to combo off, and obviously if they don't have enough cards, then they just have to just play out their stuff and they have no more cards to combo with. Oh, wait a minute, I'm reading this wrong. They may play those cards until the end of... Oh, no, okay, no, it is true. So they have this turn, So hold on, I'm sure this is already your turn, and then you force them to play their hand out on their turn. On the end of their next turn. What is the flavor text? We've got orcish astronomers have a reputation of making their critics see stars. That makes no sense. Maybe this was an AI-generated card. Looks like one of those AI-generated art, that's for sure. Okay, might as well ship it. It looks harmless. Yeah, end of their next turn. But yeah, true. It will still force them to... You gotta spew your hand, or you lose it all. Okay, we got analytics with a super chat. Sultai Lord from my custom set. Sultai Lord from my custom set. WIP. Thank you very much for the contribution. We got Volthar, Legion Tyrant. A green, blue, black, 2 generic. Flying Death Touch, Naga Demon. It's a 5/4 people. A black 1 generic tap. Put a stagnate counter on target creature. Creature stagnate counters lose first strike, double strike, and gain last strike. What the hell is last strike? And then we've got hybrid, simic, and 3 generic for propagate. Choose a counter on target creature. Give each other creature with the same controller a counter of that kind. Is last strike exist? It's the best pun ever? I don't know what's going on. Oh, I have no idea what's going on. Last strike is from an unset? Last strike? Put a stagnant counter on. You have to removing it? They lose last strike. Oh. There we go. Last strike is from unsomething. You basically don't deal regular damage and you instead strike last. Slow damage. Very, very slow damage. Hey, MTG Gaming Bob, I will see you in Vegas. Don't worry, there's 3 days. I'll be there for 3 days. See you there. And by Magic 30. Are you going to Magic 30? I hope, make sure you shout out. I'll try to wear a name tag or something so I'm easily recognizable through all the people. Throw out all the people there. So after normal, but they're gonna lose they lose first strike, double strike, and they gain last strike. They don't lose that, they actually gain last strike. So basically they're gonna deal the damage last. They could be dead by the time they deal damage. Interesting card. All right, you donated, so we're gonna ship it. Thank you very much for the card. All right, we got Divinel, what? Divinelenge of Light. I have no idea what this word is. Divinelenge. Whatever. White, 4 generic for a 7/7. Flying lifelink Elder Dragon. Other dragons you control have lifelink, and whenever you gain life from a dragon source you control, put a +1/+1 counter on each dragon you control. Looks fair to me. Sweet art, too. You can ship this one. Not much to say. And we got the Cordyceps Fugue. Fugu? 1 black aura. It's an enchantment. Change the text of enchanted creature by replacing all instances of one creature type with zombie. Oh, that's... I have no idea who wants to use this card, but effectively for 1 black, you turn any creature into a zombie. Cerise is like, did somebody say dragons? Someone has awoken a Cerise from her slumber. Fugue? Is that how... Oh, this one's Fugue? Cordyceps Fugue. Okay. Thank you very much. Turn slivers into zombies. Yes, it does. No, it turns 1 sliver. It's an aura. You just enchant 1 creature. This is like a really garbage... Like, I mean, no offense, but this is a pretty lame card. I mean, sure, you can have it. It won't break the metagame, that's for sure. Helos! Sage of the Immaterial. Red, blue... teamer for teamer colors, red, blue, green. 1/4 haste. It's an elf druid. Tap, add 3 mana of any color combination. You cannot spend this mana to cast spells. Then what do we have the mana for? You cannot spend this mana to cast spells. Oh, you can do it for activated abilities. At the beginning of your next end step, if you didn't cast a spell this turn, draw a card. That is pretty sweet. That sounds broken. How do you break this card? I'm sure there's a way to break this card. Add 3 mana of any color combination. You can't spend this mana to cast spells. It's Black Lotus for abilities, actually, now that I think about it. Black Lotus every turn. Looks very abusable, probably broken. Is this a good flashback enabler? I think flashback, you're still casting the... I can't tell if you're... I think you're casting the spell still. I think it's like you may cast this spell for its flashback cost. Status decks? You mean stasis decks? No, flashback is still casting. It makes infinite mana? How? Oh, you mean with some... oh, you mean like another card that would untap it. Alright, so but you would only have infinite mana to cast abilities. You can't cast cards with this. So this is like a fair infinite mana. Broken with Pemon's Aura. Infinite Twiddle. Candelabra of Thanos. Aha! No, wait a minute. Candelabra doesn't untap stuff. Oh, Manu, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. It would do well in a sneak attack play doubling cube. A doubling cube would break it? Shark Typhoon? That's fair. That's a little too fair. Okay, so we shipping or shredding this thing? Infinite mana to pump up Walking Ballista? Yes, actually. Okay, that would do it. Pumping your Walking Ballista infinite times, it would do great. If you throw a mana rock that requires you to pay a mana to get a mana. Ship Sexy Elf. Ship it just for the sexy elf. Okay, we got a ship. Twisted likes it. Ship. Wow, you guys are crazy. Alright, we're gonna ship this thing. You would never see competitive play, so who cares? Give it to the commander players. Skull Sifter. Black 3 generic 2/2 spirit. Flying. Whenever Skull Sifter enters the battlefield or attacks, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. It's got Blitz. If you cast the spell for its Blitz cost, it gains haste, and whenever this creature dies, draw a card. So you draw 2 cards for the Blitz cost. Because you enter the battlefield. You draw 3 cards! Holy crap! Hold on, so, okay, so, like, if you Blitz it out, enters the battlefield, draw a card. You attack, you draw a card. And when it dies, you draw a card. And you lose 2 life. If I understand this correctly. Good limited card. It might be a good constructed card. 3 mana, draw 3 cards? Are you crazy? Not even Archmage's Charm does that right now. Yeah, this card is ultra wild. Best believe I would splash to play this. Yeah, and it's so easy to splash too. It's a single black mana. Well, it's 4 mana if you want to hard cast this thing. It's actually, it'd be cheaper for you to just dump it into your graveyard and then blitz it out. It's a commander set card though. Is this a real card? Does this card actually exist? Did they just throw, that happens every so often. They just take a real card and they throw it onto the custom magic card for them. Don't let the logo fool you. Oh, I realized it's 3 mana, draw 3. Yes, you 3 mana, draw 3, lose 2. Would instantly cut Graveyard Trespasser and Rakdos midrange. I would run this in an Urgoyf deck. Remove ETB equals fixed. Yes, but it has the ETB. No, this card is not real. I would have been told about it 75 times by now. This is just a better Tenacious Underdog then. Alright, should we shipping or shredding this thing? It might be fair that you still lose 2 life every turn. That is a problem. I don't know how that would influence one-on-one play. How do you Commander players feel about this? You want to ship this thing? Manu says, shred the damn thing. Twist is like, please print it, thank you. Andrew is like, no, we gotta shred this one. Nice avatar, by the way. Shred, too strong, shred. All right, I've convinced you all. We're shredding this damn thing. You're getting voted off the island, Skull Sifter. It's gone. It's all over. The Money Tree. Ah, I love it. Who wouldn't want to own a card called the Money Tree? Artifact land, treasure. It's weird. Okay. When Money Tree enters the battlefield, sacrifice a treasure. Tap, create a tapped treasure token. Tap, sacrifice Money Tree, add 1 mana of any color. Ah, beautiful. And you need to have a treasure or you're going to sacrifice this thing. Ship for eternal formats. Nice the flavor on this. Saucy. But is it broken? Is this card broken? So it's basically, it's a land that you can store the mana every turn. But you have to have a treasure token in play in order to play this card. Hold on, wait a minute. Can you just play this and then the ETB on the stack, you just tap it, create a treasure, and you don't lose it? So it's like a land that comes into play tapped. Yeah, it doesn't sack itself as worded. Oh, it doesn't! So it's like then why are we even sacrificing a treasure? When Money Tree enters the battlefield, sacrifice a treasure. Okay, so what happens if we don't? No, I'm not gonna sacrifice a treasure, because I don't want to. Well then, if you don't, something bad's gonna happen. Oh yeah, well what bad's gonna happen, huh? Huh? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You're gonna do nothing. It's really weird. I think it was implied that you sacrifice this thing. If you have no other treasure, you have to sacrifice itself. And I imagine, but you know, based on like, you just look at this card, you just play Money Tree, ETB, sack a treasure. If you need to make a treasure, just tap it and make a treasure, and then you just sack it. You sack the treasure that it can make. Oh, it's a that's true. Okay, but you're never gonna sack itself because as worded, you can just tap and create a treasure token immediately. That's true, yeah. It's an artifact land treasure. That's weird. You gotta sacrifice a treasure, whether in the form of a land or an artifact token. But still, the way that it's worded, I can make a treasure and I'll just lose that thing. So it just basically enters the battlefield tapped, worst case scenario. Yeah, it's not a cost, it's an ETB. So there's plenty of room to create a treasure. It's a weird card. It's a very weird card, actually. But it looks a little fun. But the question is it broken? What does a treasure token do? It's like Lotus Petal. You can sacrifice a treasure token, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Which a lot of people don't like these days. They hate them. And then when you put it like that it's a Lotus Petal, you realize how broken treasure tokens are. There's like treasure tokens all over the place. Simon says ship it, it's broken. Are we shipping or shredding this thing? Broken if not entering tapped. Also good in multicolor decks. No ship, it seems great. Money Tree, Money Tree go burr. That should have been the flavor text of this card. It's fine, broken, shred. Since the treasure it creates is tapped, it's not broken. Oh, so we do lose this thing. I didn't even know it. This person designed such a good card. This is actually not broken at all. I told, you know, here's the, I anticipate there's going to be a million people in the comments section. Nikachu, you're not reading the cards again. You're not reading the cards. So basically, it comes into play tapped. You have to create a treasure token. But oh no, but you can still sack. You can sack a tapped treasure token. So you can still sack it. This is probably treasure tokens always should have come into play tapped. They should errata it. They could do that, can't they? Couldn't they? That's a way to fix treasures. Just errata treasures to say it comes into play tapped. No, you're not. Yeah, you're not reading the cards. I never read the cards. Okay, so hold on. So it creates a tapped treasure token, but when Money Tree enters the battlefield tapped, we can still make a treasure token and sack. It doesn't say it had to be untapped, so we can still sack the treasure token. Okay, shred simply because it doesn't have a mana cost, LOL. At least put a 0 in there, come on. Well, it's not a, it's a land. Lands don't have mana costs. I feel like a non-legendary untapped artifact land is too strong. This will probably see play in Affinity. It probably will. Anyway, okay, I see enough ships to do it, but it's close. You guys are crazy. You guys have lost your minds. Okay, Bard's Song Hero. Red, 1/2. Human Knight. Kicker, white and a generic. Enlist and double strike. I have no idea what enlist is. When Bard's Song Hero enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, create a 2/1 white human bard creature token. Seems fair to me. A 1/2 double striker? Wizard of the Coast doesn't like changing mechanic rules that isn't consistent with what is on a card. Oh, does it explain what treasure tokens exactly do? Okay, if that's true, then they can't do that. It seems too fair. I don't like Enlist. It was a poor mechanic. I don't even know what Enlist is. Enlist is from Dominaria United. Really? It's not even a commander set. Very fair card. Okay, so Enlist is a kind of fixed version of banding. You tap another creature and add its strength to the enlisted card. Oh, in that case, let's not even see this card. Technically, it's a fair card, but I don't want to see it. To hell with Enlist. Cryptographer. Of all the cards I can't pronounce, I can at least pronounce this one. Red and 1 generic for a 1/2 human advisor. Tap, draw a card, then discard a card at random. When you discard a land card, exile that card from your graveyard. You may play lands exiled by Cryptographer. Okay, so basically if you discard a land, it's all pure grave. You just drew a card for nothing. It's all free, but you still have a chance of discarding something good. Kaneki-chan, Nikachu, I'd like to point out for the Blitz card, you can't cast it from your graveyard. Tenacious Underdog is the only card you can Blitz from your graveyard. You can't cast it Blitz for the Blitz card? What's going on here? Blitz, if you cast this spell for its Blitz costs, it gains haste, and when this creature dies, draw a card. Sacrifice at the beginning of the next end step. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. This ability isn't coming from the graveyard? I thought Blitz was the point of it. If you cast this spell for its Blitz cost... Oh, it doesn't say it comes from your graveyard. What am I thinking of, then? You can't cast it from your graveyard. Oh, so it's just, you just cast it. Okay, so I think a lot of you guys just understood it correctly. You just cast it from your hand, and you sack it. Okay, this card is fair, by the way. You're thinking of Unearth? I know, I was thinking of Blitz. I thought, well, whatever. I guess I was thinking of Unearth. Strike gold, red 2 generic, enchant mountain you control. Whenever enchanted land becomes tapped for mana, create a treasure token. Oh god. How do we feel about... Okay, so for constructed, I think this is fair, I think it's fair. Even if you ramp this out on turn 2, it's not a big deal. But how do we feel about commander players? There's a card that can Blitz from the graveyard. I was probably thinking of that. That's probably the only good Blitz card, the one that can come back from the graveyard, and I just assumed Blitz meant you just bring it back from the you can cast from the graveyard. This is fair. Strike gold equals ship. Easy shred. Oh, what a hater. For real, it's busted. Broken, yes please. Nope, shred it, don't like it. What? Is this really broken? Seems like a weird ramp for red. It is a weird ramp for red. Ragavan is a weird ramp for red. Uses existing magic card, magic art, shred it. Ship it, ship, shred, breaks color pie. No, it doesn't. I don't think it actually looks really flavorful. You have to enchant a mountain. And where do you think the gold comes from? It comes from mountains and stuff like that. So I think we can ship this thing. We've got Josh. Josh with the super chat. MTG released bootlegger stash that makes all lands create treasure. Yeah, you see? Exactly. Exactly. It's all right. This is just one mountain. Yeah, bootlegger stash. Counterfeit coins. Ah, just like counterfeit cards. So blue 2 generic. Artifact. Blue 1 generic. Tap, create a treasure token. It should be like a counterfeit treasure token. Like, it's a treasure token that comes into play tapped. That's what it should be. Okay, tap sack X treasures. Gain control of target permanent spell with mana value X. At the beginning of your next end step, that permanent's owner gains control of it. I don't understand the flavor to this at all. Yeah, it's like it's treasure token day. What's with all the treasure token cards? Treasures in blue? This feels bad. It does feel bad. Ah, yes, this is interesting. Gain control of target permanent spell with mana value X. So it has to be something on the stack, and it's a permanent. At the beginning of your next end step, that permanent's owner gains control over it. So, whatever. So you get to take their permanent for 1 turn. This is so garbage. Okay, technically, I guess you can ship it, but this is an awful card. Cupid's Arrow. For 1 generic, it's a legendary artifact. When Cupid's Arrow enters the battlefield, pair 2 unpaired creatures you control. They remain paired for as long as you control both of them. Paired creatures you control get +1/+1 and have lifelink. Oh, that's cute. Very flavorful. It looks like this... It got stabbed. Oh, I guess that's Cupid's Arrow, though. Aww. Oh, you buy a permanent with your counterfeit coins, and then they get it back? 2 unpaired creatures... pair 2 unpaired creatures you control. They remain paired as long... What happens when you pair them, though? Oh, no, it gets +1/+1 and have lifelink, of course. Alright, we can just ship this thing. This is fair. Fair stuff. Super aggressively costed, probably. 1 mana. Lifelink and +1/+1. Turn the tide of battle. 1 white, 3 generic. Instant. With a kicker of black and 2 generic, return to the battlefield each creature card in your graveyard that was put there from the battlefield this turn. If this spell was kicked, draw a card for each creature returned to the battlefield this way. Return to the battlefield each creature in your graveyard that was put there on the battlefield this turn. If the spell was kicked, draw a card for each creature returned to the battlefield this way. This honestly would make these janky recursion spells a little bit more playable. These cards usually suck. They're terrible. They're absolute garbage. This sort of return the creatures from the graveyard to the battlefield. They never see competitive play. Because in general, like, you don't want your creatures dying in the first place. Yeah, anti-board wipe. But at least there's a payoff now where you get to draw a bunch of cards. And it's instant speed, actually. That's actually a huge bonus. I think most of these cards are usually sorcery speed. Usually very sorcery speed. You can blink Cupid's Arrow. Previously paired pairs remain paired. Oh, that's neat. That's very interesting. Cupid's Arrow might be broken then at 1 mana. Instant! Wah! Ah, yes, for my board wipe tribal commander deck. It costs 7 mana with at least 1 black, 1 white. Seems okay. What is mana in commander? It's like nothing. Yeah, this mana, you have got mana all over the place in commander. Everyone's rich in commander. I prefer brought back because it's target permanent, so you can bring back fetches, not just creatures. Yeah, but this is like, you going much bigger with this. You have like a bunch of creatures in play and you're going to bring them all back. Bring back all your soldier stuff. Maybe good in a sack deck, like Patriarch's Bidding Goblins? Maybe. Okay, it's fair. Alright, we agree it's fair. Let's ship the thing. Moving on. The Sacred Flame! For 1 white instant, Sacred Flame deals 3 damage to any target. What? What? No way. We're gonna give white lightning bolts? That's literally what it is. It's the white lightning bolt. How do we feel about this, chat? As if we need to give blue-white control the 1 card that they were splashing for Jeskai. The number one reason Jeskai Control splashes red is for a lightning bolt. Now they don't even have to do that anymore. Shred the hell out of it. Boros. Oh my god, Boros Burn now has 8 lightning bolts. I didn't even think, for some reason I was thinking control decks first before I thought of Burn. Love it. We already had Sunlance, but this can hit players. Broken Shred, ship it. It's in the planar chaos flavor. Ship Boros Burn looking better. Make it deal 4 damage and ship it. Shred it. You the real MVP, Millmaster. White should be the second burn color, but it needs a downside. That doesn't make any sense to me, actually. I think black should be the second burn color, if anything. It's much closer on the color pie. White doesn't do this. Shred. Alright, we're shredding this thing. Just wanted to see the reaction. Who knows? Maybe they'll make another planar chaos-like set and create something like this. Lukewarm! Flash Finder. Lukewarm. In the Jeskai colors, white, red, blue. 2/3. It's a frog! And it's a very cute image. I like it a lot. As Lukewarm Flash Finder enters the battlefield, choose between drawing your second card during your turn, casting your second spell each turn, or attacking with 2 or more creatures. Whenever you perform the chosen action, create a treasure token. What? Choose between drawing your second card. Okay, that's fine. I can understand that. Casting your second spell each turn. That doesn't make sense to me because you need to play a first spell first. Or attacking with 2 or more creatures. That makes sense. I don't get it though. How is this flavorful? Whenever you perform the chosen action, create a treasure token. I'm almost with MTG Gaming Bob here. Too many words, shred it. It's a donate card? Yeah, I don't get it either. Fate Spinner? Oh, Fate Spinner has something to do with this? Hell, downgrade this to an uncommon, legendary, and ship for kawaii vibes. I mean, it's definitely a card I'd want to collect. It's very cute. Does not find flashcards. False advertisement. The card... Okay, the card makes sense. Basically, it's a do one of these things to get a treasure. But I don't understand how you can choose between casting your second spell each turn. Choose between... or attacking with 2 or more creatures. Whenever... Oh, hold on. As Lukewarm enters the battlefield, choose between drawing your second card during your turn, casting your... I don't get it. You gotta do 1 to get the Trez. It's saying if you cast 2 spells, you get a treasure token. Then why didn't it say that? Okay, so so I can choose between one of 3 modes to get a treasure token. God, I'm shredding this because I don't even. It's worded so badly. Yeah, choose a mode, get a treasure. It's worded weirdly. Gains 1 triggered ability. You choose which one. Yeah, you gotta choose first, then do it. Whatever. Okay, Buyouts. Oh, that's a familiar picture. Red, 2 generic sorcery. Gain control of target non-land permanent. Its owner creates a number of treasure tokens equal to the card's mana value. See, if we can't blast them, we'll bribe them. Yeah. Exactly. Gain control of target non-land permanent. Its owner creates a number of treasure tokens equal to that card's mana value. That actually seems too fair. It seems way too fair. Shred for dockside picture, but everyone else wants a ship. Same art, shred. Ship. Oh, actually, some shreds. I like it. Ship it. EDH card. I love it. Red players love stealing things. All right, we ship it. You got bought out. I guess they couldn't use the word bribery because that word has already been taken. Ooh, what do we have here? Live long and prosper. So for all the Star Trek fans out there, you're going to enjoy this. Live long, green, 2 generic. Sorry, green, 2 generic. Search a library for up to 4 basic land cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle. You gain 4 life. But then you can prosper for green, 3 generic, sorcery. Put any number of land cards from your hand onto the battlefield, then draw that many cards. I think this is really fair. Search your library for up to 4 land cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle. And then if you have 9 mana, you basically, you gain the life, you get 4 lands in your hand, you put them onto the battlefield, draw 4 cards. It's like extra, it's like win more ramp and then draw a bunch of cards. Do it! Fair, ship it. Very fair. All right. Super fair. The Horde of Mammon. It's got a casting cost of X. Again, it's another legendary artifact treasure. What's with these legendary artifact treasure cards? Is this supposed to go with my money tree? The Horde of Mammon enters the battlefield with X coin counters, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast Horde of Mammon. Tap, sacrifice this artifact, create X treasure tokens, where X is the number of coin counters on the Horde of Mammon. And you can pay Jund colors, green, red, black, transform the Horde of Mammon. The Horde of Mammon can be your commander. What the hell? Okay, mimic Horde of Mammon. With the star power and toughness. Mimic Horde of Mammon's power and toughness is each equal to the number of treasures you control. Remove a coin counter from Mimic Horde of Mammon or sacrifice another treasure. Tap Mimic Horde of Mammon and it gains indestructible until end of turn. Too many words! Too many words. I don't like it. I don't like it. If you like it, well, you can like it. But I think it has too many words on the damn thing. Would you support a Kingdom Hearts set? Probably. Witherfang is like, this thing is amazing. I'm sick of these what's with all the treasure cards today? It was like Treasure Day or something. Nah, this is cool. Shop it. Ship it. Money tree combo. Yes, money tree combo. Get the money tree out and then danger. Danger, folks. All right, if you want to be part of the show, we do this Monday to Friday, 8 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Be there or be square. Oh, by the way, for anyone on the show, I may not be streaming tomorrow because I'm flying to Daytona Beach, Florida, and I will see you guys in Florida. I'm going to the States. I'm going to America. Going to America from Canada. If you didn't know, I'm Canadian. But I might. Maybe I'll randomly do a show in the airport. Thank you very much, everyone, for supporting the channel with your super chats and your memberships. If you wanted to support the channel, lets me know that to keep doing this every single morning, and I try to do it every single morning, and we will do it. I will be still doing this while I'm on vacation, because that's how much I love this show, and I love all of you guys, because thank you for doing this, being here every morning, because I'm not the show, you guys are the show, and I got to keep hosting this. It's just I'm gonna be in the air mostly by tomorrow morning, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, keep brewing up those coffees, and we will keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup. Take care, and bye-bye.